Y'all, welcome back to another Color Me Purple episode. We are reviewing the Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 6, Episode 6. Melody shows up to Tiffany's house. Tiffany, who's about to pop, pregnant with her first child, welcomes her in. I know y'all remember that Tiffany then got into it with Kiki at that party. And Kiki literally has no damn remorse for this woman being pregnant because she was just ready to take her head off. Shade, no shade, no shade, but Kiki is ghetto as fuck, and y'all know that. We on episode 6, season 6. I know y'all know that by now. And by no means am I sparing Tiffany because she's starting to show her true colors. She just might be a little loose in the head, but let's get into it. Of course, Tiffany starts the episode by jumping straight into the drama. She claimed that when she was at the nail salon, she just wasn't herself. And she felt like she came for Kiki almost as if she was meeting her where she was at. Honey, you came for her the same way that you always come for people. This was not a new Tiffany Pollard. Granted, y'all, for us women, us pregnant women, we know the hormones can escalate the type of person that you may be. It could make you a little crazy and a little rough around the edges. But I'm starting to, I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments, because maybe Tiffany was not like this when she was pregnant. She was showing a little cuckoo, but she might be a little crazy cuckoo now. And you can tell she just loves the tea. Anytime you tell her about something, she wants the details, honey. Okay, she is digging into Melody right now. I think we all were surprised to see that Mel showed up to Tisha's event, at the nail salon event, because, you know, they ain't been getting along. And, of course, they do have to keep the show running, honey. So I knew that these were just for ratings, because as soon as it got hot and heated and popping, Melody was on her way out, baby. Peace and holla. I'ma holla at y'all ladies later. And I agree with what she's saying about she works too hard to have to be involved in this kind of chaos all the time. I have some appreciation for Mel inviting the etiquette teacher to their little tea event that she's planning, because the ladies are showing that they're a little rough around the edges this year, as well as last season. So I think I have some appreciation for where she's going with this. But y'all just know, come on now, it might not, it ain't gonna work out the way that she think it is. Talking about high tea and communication. I'm with the cute little outfits and the cute little hats, honey, because I think that's as good as it's gonna get. So y'all, what is up with these women lately recording these conversations from their partners? I'm not saying that it ain't needed every now and then, because, you know, for protection and whatever the case may be. But here you got Melody playing the recording from her, recording Martell about him saying that he's not going to get his daughter. Now, granted, he did show his ass at that party talking about, I need to be with her on her birthday and I need to do all this. And then lo and behold, it sounds like he didn't even pick her up when she tried to give him the opportunity. It's a little manipulative and a little crazy around the edges, but I think he just really wanted to kill two birds with one stone by participating with them at the party. Granted, I feel where Mel is coming from. Imagine if she was talking to somebody and she wanted to invite dude to the party or something like that. You kind of invaded my space. I don't want you to know how I'm moving, what I'm wearing when I'm out in these streets, who I'm inviting to my events. So I see where she's going with this. You feel me? She's going to be allowing the ladies to bring a +1 to her tea party event, though. And Tiffany's talking about the +1 means having backup. Child, I agree. Because why the hell I'm going to show up to a group of 10 women without some kind of fucking backup? You know what I'm saying? Sliding over to Kimmy Monster and Maurice, I'm a little confused about this situation, because for Maurice to be well-spoken and well-to-do with his job and sort of trying to understand people and their motivational aspects, I just can't understand why he doesn't understand his wife and what she's saying. She might be a little pushing it when in a little dramatic and getting him to do the chores, but baby, how the fuck do you not understand what she's saying? Just ask the child to be more responsible about his chores, speak up for your wife, and support her. You know, it's interesting that they're dancing around this in circles. I can't tell if it's for views or what, because it's like, why and how does this not make sense, boo? I'm so happy Kimmy looks like she's doing better. Of course, you know, you never know the full story about what someone is going through, especially when it's a cancer scare, just because these things are progressive and they take time to sort of get into the nitty-gritty of it. But she looks like she's doing well. And, of course, Maurice is the supporting husband that we would all love to see and have. I do feel for Kimmy, though, because I think that she's trying to, of course, respect Monster's mother and not disciplining him and not getting aggressive with him, so she's kind of avoiding that issue. It was dope to see her speak to the mom and sort of say, hey, I'm trying to respect the lines that I want to walk for Monster, but I need your baby daddy and my husband to kind of step it up and make sure that the baby is doing what he needs to do. So it's just really on Maurice at this point to kind of make it make sense and to connect the simple dots, because I would not understand how Maurice, or Monster rather, at his age is not doing chores already, and it ain't being drilled in to him at this point, Taylor. Y'all, Stormy taking Kiki to this damn Kiki session with La Januka is definitely pretty interesting. Stormy talking about she's really connected to her feelings and her emotions and this and that. And Kiki is obviously not feeling it, talking about, can you tell me how this is connected to sort of spirituality? And I've heard that you're not supposed to connect these things with jewels and these spells and shit. Probably feeling like the lady is on some demonic time. And I'm not really into this stuff, so y'all tell me how y'all feel about it in the comments. But she was trying to grill her. The woman came back and tried to sort of boost her ego a little bit later, saying you have strong words, be careful of what you say. Yes, Kiki can be a little bitchy. And yes, she need to be a little bit more careful what she's saying. Ooh, when Stormy tried to drop them damn tears, y'all, Kiki looked like she was trying to hold back from laughter. I had to bust one out real quick because I was like, why is you crying? Why is you crying? But I kind of feel for her because I think she's coming from a place of feeling misunderstood. I think it's a lot of us out there who, when you speak a certain way, I code switch a lot, so it's a time and a place for me. But when you speak a certain way, you may feel like people don't understand you because of the way that you speak. So sometimes it's challenging, and I can see how she would get emotional. And especially when you're climbing up in the realms of and financial and you're kind of hitting all these goals, you want to be able to communicate with those people. And sometimes that's a huge barrier. La Junica is telling these ladies that they're going to feel some electricity, like lightning coming through their bodies, child. And Kiki talking about, should I be able to shock somebody after this shit? Like, pew, y'all. This bitch is crazy and silly all in fucking way. Y'all, I would not have tried it. With Maurice and Martell talking on the next scene, they meet up at what's going to be Maurice's law firm's location, which is currently under construction, and Martell is telling him about the altercation with him and Melody over at his baby's party. It's the meeting of the lost minds, because both of these gentlemen act like they just can't understand what the hell the situation is going on with their women. You got Maurice, who just can't understand what Kimmy is asking about for Monster to do the damn chores in the house. And you got Martell, who, why would you show up to the party without talking to Melody first? I think at this point, a few months in, if not a couple years in, you know that she ain't gonna roll like that. You know that you could have shot her a text message, hey, let her know you coming through. And you said it yourself, somebody else had to invite you. That means you weren't invited, baby. You weren't invited. How Melody tells it, the situation obviously simmered down because she tried to give him the baby later, and he still ain't want to pick up the child. But he don't mention this in the conversation with Maurice, honey. He don't mention it, but he did mention his credit. Kudos to you for bringing them numbers up. I'm happy that Maurice sees that he needs to get Monster together, but honey, the analogy about the dog getting hit for running out of order and running into the street, it was a good one. But you would have had to known that with your baby, and I had to get him reined in. He is an African American man, and we know the difficulties that we run through in the community. It was been time to have a conversation with him about being orderly and getting things in order and doing things that you need to do to get ahead of yourself and ahead of issues. I think he's well beyond that age. But Martell is right. People are who they are. It is a great idea to delve into what exactly is someone's motivation, especially when you have children, and to figure out, what do I need to take away from this baby to get him together? What do I need to do to get him to walk that line that I'm trying to get him to walk? And sometimes it is taking away the PlayStation, taking away the phone, because that is what they're into today. In the next scene, Melody brings in the etiquette coach at her little tea party, and honey, the guests are to be got for, because I'm so surprised that Stormy brought her mom in, knowing that she's got the drama with Melody. You got Kiki beefing with Tiffany. You got just beef all over this table. Melody is acting a fool with this etiquette coach, but I get it. She's trying to, I guess, learn some simple etiquette about what side of the table she starts on to serve. Should she use a spoon? Should she not? And I guess maybe if you go to some kind of event, I don't know what event in today's age, maybe over there in England, they'd be so concerned. But I think as long as you act like a lady, beautiful, smooth, and suave, that I don't know that it's going to be a big deal if you stir your tea while the tea packet is in. Granted, I think that I would have taken it out anyway, but whatever. Now, I love the correction about the teacup. You know, why would you lift your plate off the table if you're sitting down anyway, honey? Of course, you're going to lift it if you stand. You have your teacup in your hand, and that way you have somewhere to set your cup as you drink and speak. Melody even acting like she don't know if she need to say hello to these people as they enter her event. Y'all, I'm talking about the foolery is on 10 at this point. Child, from the very beginning, everybody was surprised to see Miss Betty still coming to the party, Stormy's mother. Everybody was looking crazy, and she came in with a crazy look on her face, too. You already know she came in for the tea and the steam that came with it. Miss Kara Ray gets the events going. She's the etiquette coach. And, you know, she kind of gets Melody to start pouring the tea for everybody, child. Melody already starts giving immediate shade. No, I will not hear that you don't want some tea. You'll just let it sit, honey. Although she was very sweet when she said it. Boo, I know that set the tone and the temperature for the event. So when the etiquette coach starts to define what etiquette is and says it really is how you make people feel around you, Stormy starts by saying, I curse a lot. And, you know, she's wondering if that should impact the way that she's received to people or by people when she speaks to them. Miss Etiquette Coach and everyone else looked a little baffled because, you know, if you're going around just because of connotations that the curse words, fuck you, bitch, all that other shit has, it's going to give you a rougher feeling around the edge. So the Etiquette Coach proceeds to let her know, well, I feel like when you curse, and that means that you just don't have enough vernacular to choose from. You don't have enough words in your database to choose from in your conversation. Of course, Stormy was a little offended by that, and everybody else was scratching their head looking like, but we all curse every now and then. So I can understand where she's coming from. And even now and then, I'll drop me an F-bomb or two, bitch. Okay? But I completely understand the expansion of your vocabulary so that your vernacular, your everyday use in your speech, your everyday use speech is proper, and that you do have an abundance of choices to choose from because, boo, like I said, it is a time and place for everything. You can't just be bitching and hoeing while you're the director at a meeting and you're with your staff. You understand? I mean, sometimes you are going to set a culture, but then that makes it difficult to work against that in other situations. You know, how do you address your staff speaking to you like that when you sort of address them in that same way? So it really is a time and a place for everything. You can't take it with you everywhere. I get you wanting to have friends that understand who you are and how you speak. That's a little different, but you do have to code switch and be able to adjust to your environment, you know. Child, and from there the tea party takes off. Miss Nell Fletcher, who is of course reading the room, she's looking at Melody's face while Stormy is speaking. She kind of calls attention and says, hey, I feel a tension going on. What's going on? Let's address this shit. And out of the blue, Stormy's mom, Miss Betty, still speaks up like, if you addressing my business, you don't even know what the hell we talking about. And of course, Stormy had to chime in and take up for her mom. I think their reaction was a little aggressive to Nell because I don't think Nell was trying to say she know what the hell everything been going on because she obviously ain't been with y'all hoes. But from there, Betty still went in, okay? And she came for Melody. She was coming for Melody. She came for Melody about a post that she made addressing who recorded a conversation that she had about her and Martell. And I guess the allegations pointed to Stormy as being the person who had done so. And Melody sort of nonchalantly addressed the issue by saying, whoever was in my home did not record me, child. But they knew the bitch that was in your home was Stormy, honey. And Mama still said, why did you not say my baby name? Why did you not clear it up and say Stormy wasn't the chick that called you out or recorded you and your man? You know, I do feel like Nell was ready to clarify for these females, but I can tell that obviously, it's 2 against 1, and who knows what the turn of events would have been. You don't want to come for anybody, mama, okay? And Kiki wrong too for coming for Tiffany while she's pregnant. And in my culture, with my people, you don't come for people that's pregnant just because it's bad luck. Granted, everybody needs to watch their mouth. Be aware of what you're saying, but you are supposed to be sensitive to somebody bringing life into this world, baby. And that's just on period hunty. But anyway, ain't nobody know what Miss Betty Steele was talking about. She just decided to steal the show as soon as Nell said that she felt like there was an awkward energy and that she felt it was between Stormy and Melody. Miss Betty Steele said, Do you feel it between Melody and Stormy, or is it between me and Melody? And Nell's looking, and I think everybody else was looking like, ma'am, who are you and what beef are you talking about? So Betty still proceeds to let everybody know about the messages and ... whatever we just mentioned a few minutes ago. So it goes down from there. Child, the shade when Stormy said, this may require you just not to speak at this moment, boo. The most fighting words said in the most etiquettical way, okay? Because I felt that. And Stormy wanted to probably come out her skin to defend her mother, but I think she cleaned it up a lot, and I appreciate that because it could have went left. But like the etiquette coach went ahead and corrected, she did go ahead and interrupt Nell while she was speaking without giving her the opportunity of getting out. And that, young ladies and gentlemen, is part of etiquette, conversational etiquette. So I'm happy that she addressed that as well. Now, I don't think that Nell was going to say anything disrespectful. You can tell that she was sort of guiding her language so that she could be respectful in addressing Stormy's mom. But Stormy, because she is fucking ghetto, she was about to pop off, okay? Ghetto don't mean you ain't trying to run your business. Ghetto don't mean that you don't have a business and that you ain't a wonderful mother and all that other shit. But honey, the way that you carry yourself, maybe we don't call it ghetto. Maybe we just call it rough around the fucking edges, baby. But call it what you want. It is exactly that. So Miss Betty still bust out and telling Melody to go on and shut up. Melody too had to sort of clean it up for herself because, again, nobody wants to come for nobody's mom. So I think everybody was looking crazy like, oh Lord Jesus, because I don't think we're surprised by this now. We get this all the time from Tisha's mom. So we ain't surprised about the Carries and mamas on the show. We just ain't never met Miss Betty Steele, y'all. When the situation transitions to Kiki and Tiffany, y'all, I was not surprised that they were going to go ahead and argue and fight it out here, even though this was not the purpose of this etiquette party. But I was surprised at how Kiki decided to go in on Tiffany just because Tiffany's saying that I don't know you. Just because she sat at the table with you to discuss some things about her personal life and her family doesn't mean that necessarily y'all have a relationship to where she got to call you out to everybody that, yeah, that's my bitch. I know her. So I feel where Tiffany is coming from, and I'm kind of freaked out that Kiki is going so hard just to be claimed by a bitch, okay? Kiki making a sly comment about, oh, at least I know my dad. That was a low-ass jab, honey, and I'm glad that everybody jumped in to call her out. Because why would you say that? Regardless of your anger and frustrations at the moment, those types of things cause real trauma through a lifetime and are not to be played with. I think the basis of Tiffany's frustration is that Kiki does not do well with her cousin Tisha. And when you have family or foundations that you sort of want to align with, you kind of do feel like, oh, if she's not even keeping up for her people, why would I want to even get into it with you? But Kiki raggedy ass talking about, bitch, you ain't even got no family, so you don't know what we going through, what this shit look like. And that's from her reference that she been using since their argument at the nail shop. I'm not surprised to see all hell breaking loose towards this end of this episode, predicting what's going to happen between Tiffany, Kiki, and just about everybody else, because Tiffany is showing her true colors, honey. Stay tuned for the next episode, because Tiffany is coming out, boo. Not her coming for Sheree.